Hey guys, I'm doing this video as a quick review of some Kliklamps that I got from Bessey. They sent me over about 4 of these to test out, and that's what I'm going to do. And the way I'm going to be testing it out is, you can see on my tool wall that I'm just building out here, I've done all these tool holders, and so I'm going to do a few of them, and I'll use the Kliklamps to do that, and let's see how it turns out at the end of the video. I'll let you know what I think, pro or con. I'm always going to tell you guys the truth. So stay tuned and enjoy. Thanks. So this is a piece of oak pallet runner that I've been milling down to size a few times already. I'm going to move the fence over to about maybe I guess a 1/4 inch or so should be good. So I'm not looking for any kind of crazy dimensioning here. I just wanted to take something that was just a little bit rough and smooth it down just so it's nicer to work with. And especially this edge is a rough edge that actually still has the pallet markings on it. So we'll just get it down to something a little bit more manageable. Okay, so here's a scrap of birch, nice 3/4 inch piece of birch hardwood here that's going to form the basis of the holder. Here is the block plane that's going to go on it. And here are a couple of sections of the strip that I cut out earlier. And, you know, just sort of go like that, and then like that. And what I'll do is I cut a 1/4 inch strip here out of another birch scrap. And then what I'll do is I'll just hold it all together, and I'll just push it up until it's butted up against there, and then I'll take it off, still holding it quite firmly, and I'll just pencil down a line here. And that's for the camera. I actually have a marking knife that I'm using now, so I'm pretty fancy. I'm gonna get back to the build in one quick second, but the thing I wanted to point out is how incredibly light these are. And I wasn't expecting that. And then I noticed that on the packaging here it says magnesium, which is pretty crazy because that's not cheap material. And you know, that goes along with the build quality because these are really well made. You know, and you can sort of feel all the quality parts that click and snap and go together really well. And keeping in mind again that these are not heavy duty clamps. These are not the K bodies that have 3,800 pounds of clamping force. These are rated for 280 pounds. So light duty, which is basically what I'm doing today. I mean, this is going to be small stuff, but they're meant to be quick, easy, light duty clamps, and that's the way I'm going to use them. So let's continue with the build. So I'm just putting down a light bead of glue here. Just get it right in there, and I'm just going to put it on the line that I marked earlier. And I'll use my flush trim saw afterwards to, okay, so here it is, and so that was pretty darn easy. Okay, next step is to pretty these up a little. So the first thing I'll do is I'll flush trim these ends off. This is my number 5, so it's going to be a lot faster than the smoothing plane, which is set up for much finer shavings. Just wanted to show real quick that the second one I actually didn't do with the hand plane at all. I did it with the chisel, and I just, it's a very sharp chisel, and I flushed up at the top, and then I chopped it here. But the interesting part was that this clamp, and I mean, it's obviously a duh, everyone's done this, but this clamp worked really well as a holdfast, just to keep the workpiece down. You saw that I struggled with it a little bit when it was in the clamp. That was kind of silly. I probably should have just clamped it to the tabletop. And just to say that these clamps work really, really well as holdfasts. I mean, this piece literally, I have to really, really move it, put in all 150 pounds of my body weight to move. But under normal circumstances, it's not going anywhere. Okay, so now the last step in this silly little project is just to glue on the sides here. This might be second to last because I'll have to drill some holes and put it actually up on the wall. But, again, I'm just putting a nice amount of glue on here. Maybe a touch more right there. Okay, and then I'll do the same on the other side, and then we'll just clamp it up. So here we are, it's the next day. I actually only need to let this dry for about half an hour or so, but I ran out of time last night, so we're picking up where we left off. And, clamps come off super easy. And here's our holder. I'm going to clean it up because there's still some roughness to it. I'm just going to mark a little spot here where the blade would touch, so you can see that the blade's there, so you can see that I need to create just a little divot for it. Right around there. So I went ahead and I cut that little groove or divot or whatever in the holder, just so that the blade won't make contact as I'm pulling it out. You could see that's where it would be roundabouts. You can see right through there, and then it's fine. I was going to shoot the video of cutting it on the bandsaw, but I didn't have a good place to mount the camera actually. I like to countersink these holes, and I did so quite deeply because I don't want the screw to come anywhere near the plane, so that's what I've done there. And I'll clean up these holes a little bit, I'll clean up the back, and then we'll mount it up, and I'll give you my final thoughts on these Bessey Kliklamps. And there's our project, the final tool holder for my hand planes. This one was the block plane, but I did all the other ones very similarly. They're just much beefier, for this number 6. It's the exact same construction. You can see it's the side panels and then the runners here that hold it in place. Here I had a couple of screws so that the bottom doesn't, or I should say that the sides don't get pinched. And it's perfect. I mean, this is not going anywhere. This one I did a little differently. I have a little block of oak in here that's screwed in that doesn't let it go all the way down. This one wasn't really an issue, so I didn't do anything about it. And this one, time will tell, but most likely I'll probably put another block like I did for the number 5 here. Okay, so let me lay out my thoughts on these Kliklamps from Bessey. They did send them to me to review, so that's what I'm going to do. What these guys are supposed to be is a faster version of the traditional F-style clamp. They're faster than these. They're easier to set up, and they're probably not as strong as far as clamping force, but they're very, very quick to get going. These ones, you got to set up, and then you've got to screw them tightly. Sometimes they get jammed up. There's all kinds of issues with those ones, although they are pretty rock solid. These guys are one-handed, which is a phenomenal, boost, whenever you're trying to position something. And that's what I use them for ultimately. I don't really use them to glue up. What I'll do is I'll put them in place. I'll hold my pieces where I want them, and then I'll come back with an F-style clamp or a different kind of clamp that can actually apply the right amount of force. The great thing about these guys is that for this light duty work, even in an F-style clamp, you know, I can position these, and then I can tighten them up. And these are good enough to be clamping with. They're not just for positioning or for holding. I use them as holdfasts, and they did a great job. I don't think that would have worked as well with the squeeze clamps. Now, that being said, the only con I can come up with is that they're two-handed operation. But again, I'm not even 100% sure that's even a fair con. So as far as I'm concerned, these are great clamps. I recommend them. They're fast, they're easy, they apply a good amount of force for light-duty stuff. And, you know, I want to thank Bessey for sending them, and I'll certainly continue to get some really good use out of them. If you have any questions for me, let me know. Leave them in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer them. I will always give you the truth. Again, I wasn't paid to do this, and I just got a few clamps to review, and, you know, that's what this was about. So like, subscribe, share, do all that great stuff. I really appreciate it, guys, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.